Okay, this is my next monthly update video. And what's been happening with my transition since my last update video. Well, besides the dysphoria I was having for about 4 days, I was having it. Yeah. The dysphoria was the whole issue. My body gives me those feelings and signals down there. Especially when it becomes hormonal, my time of the month around there. When it just gives those signals of needing to become pregnant. Or those pregnancy feelings the body gives you sometimes. And how I'm not able to conceive and bear a child within me. That feeling that's like deep down within I was having, which sucked for 4 days, but yeah, I got through it the best I could, so it happens. Second thing, I messaged the doctor, the surgeon who did my surgery, and because this last month I was supposed to have revision, they were saying it wouldn't be until September. I hadn't heard from them, so I messaged them. It took a while to get a response back, and I just messaged them a couple of times. They responded, and they were saying that they're so sorry that my care, with my health care, with my transition, like the surgeries and everything, it was just dropped. They're saying they didn't get the request for my revision, so it wasn't sent to my insurance. So they told me they're going to figure out what was going on, why, because my care shouldn't have been just dropped like that, and have a gap for 5 months in between. So I was supposed to have revision and a bunch of follow-up appointments from initial surgery. So they were checking to see why that happened with the communication. And they sent the request to my insurance, and it turns out my insurance didn't need a prior authorization because the insurance I have for any of those who are out there who has Medicare as their insurance, trans surgeries are covered fully, 100%. Just to let you know, even revision, from my experience. So, anywho, then they called me finally, and when I was on the phone, they were saying that Dr. Goodwin is the surgeon who did my surgery. He wants to see me first before scheduling a date for revision. So they so we scheduled the date to see the doctor, which was kind of frustrating because there was only 2 available appointments I could have took. The later appointment would have been December, and the closest appointment is November 2nd. So I chose the earlier appointment because I don't want to sit here and take forever to get things done. It should have been done already and it should have been healing from it. So, it's November 2nd is the surgery, is the, it's the surgery vision pre-check, I can say, because he wants to check everything first. So we're going to do that. Then at that time, a revision surgery date's going to be set. So, yeah, that's kind of frustrating having to wait so long, not knowing what's going on, and hopefully they get everything figured out why there's that gap in my care and everything was just dropped and nothing went forward. And they're really glad and happy I messaged them. But the other question I asked never was answered about dilation schedule for me, because where I had the surgery, they have you dilate 2 times a day, like morning, evening, for 30 minutes each time. And that hasn't changed. I've been doing that every single day. Haven't missed. Even though, like, sexy time, when you have it, if you get the penetration, you can skip dilating. So yeah, even with those added. So, in other places have you dilate on a different schedule, like 4 times a day for a certain amount of time, and then goes down to like 3, 2, then 1, then so on and so forth, like once a week, until it becomes like once a month, or however these other places do it. But where I went, they said there was no actual standard on how to dilate. So my question was if I can change my dilation schedule, and that was just never answered. So at my appointment, I'm probably gonna have to ask that at my appointment. So, and I might have to continue with my dilation schedule with the revision, how it is, just to make sure I don't have issues. But other than that, that's all I'm waiting for now, is that appointment to get everything checked, to find out what's going on, because how things have changed since my last appointment for revision, because how things have changed since then, and how much further healing I've had. So yeah, and how much more weight I can say I've gained in the tummy area and whatnot, and how my body's changed. So yeah. And next thing that's happened, I've noticed, I looked in the mirror. I noticed up here on the upper parts of my breasts, the top parts, has filled in a little bit more. And when I was in the shower yesterday, I noticed in between the inner sides right through here was closer together and a little bit more filled in. So I ended up measuring myself, and because this whole top part through here, this upper half, has filled in more, I ended up gaining a half an inch because of that, even though I still fit in the same cup size and band size. I still fit in a 32G, even though I measure half an inch bigger, because my bust now measures 40 inches. Because of that fullness I've gained, even though I still fit in a 32G. So, yeah. Which I'm happy about that. I just want this up here filled in more, just the upper part through here, And that'd be perfect for me, just having that filled in. And it's weird with my breasts, I've noticed every time I do go up a cup size, it's always the bottom, like the bottom half from here down this way. The bottom half is when that fills in. I end up being a cup size bigger. Then up here ends up being more shallow because down here is more full. That's what I've always noticed. And when up here fills in and I measure an inch bigger, which makes me measure cup size bigger, I always fit in a cup size smaller than I physically measure. I know part of it is due to how being born trans with scoliosis and kyphosis, because how it makes the back a little bit different also affects that. So, but other than that, I'm just hoping I just gain through here and stay at G cup, because that's all I want with my breast is this upper part filled in more. And right now I'm just really happy with my breasts. And one thing was a struggle when I became a G cup was actually finding bras that fit right. So I did lots of searching, and the same two websites kept coming up. It was Curvy Kate and Adore Me were the two sites. And I chose not to do Curvy Kate because that looked like it's more for plus size. And plus size fits a little different than non-plus size who are bigger. So I went with Adore Me, and that was one of the best decisions I made, even though it's more expensive. But you get bra and panties together, which ends up being cheaper in the long run. You calculate everything. So I went with Adore Me in a size 32G. And what I could get, and every time they get a color I've been trying to find in, that's what I've been doing. I've just been getting it right away because how fast some of them do sell out. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing to get the colors I need to replace my old ones I had to get rid of. So, and since Victoria's Secret decided not to increase cup sizes in my band, I'm not going with that company anymore for bras. So I'm just sticking with Adore Me for now. And if I do become an H, I'm going to stick with Adore Me. But if I become bigger than an H, I don't know what I would do because Adore Me doesn't have anything bigger than an H currently. But hopefully I stay a G cup. And yeah. So my measurements, my bust is 40 inches currently. My under bust is still 32. That hasn't changed. My waist is 30 inches. So that means I'm in that normal average bust being 10-inch different, like bigger than the waist, because there's that 10-inch difference. So I'm in that average range. So it seems like when like my waist and bust since surgery has evened out to that 10-inch difference. And every time one goes up, the other goes up, it seems like, since surgery, which I'm happy about that because I struggled with my bust being smaller than it should have been for so long. And I'm happy where it's at now. I just hopefully I get the rest of the fullness on top and be done. Because I don't want to be bigger than a G. Like, the truth is, I don't want to be bigger than a 32G. But if I do, and that happens, and I do get bigger, then I do. So, yeah. My hips haven't changed. I'm still 36.5 inches. And right where the pelvis is, where the iliac crest, if you measure there, that's always 1 inch bigger than my waist. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm happy. So, where that is so far. So, yeah. And the last thing I can think of, there isn't any other bodily changes besides down there has healed more. And using toys, I can say, has actually healed my body more. The scar tissue, like those toys where it's for the clitoris, the ones that have the air pulsation, so it's like that sucking motion combined with vibration, because the one I have does both, the air pulsation and the vibrating. And that scar tissue that's on the right side on the scar line of my vulva at the very top where they had to put more stitches, it's helping to heal that. The scar tissue is actually shrunk using that toy, helping to increase the blood flow and whatnot to the area. So I can say the specific toy is Adam and Eve's. It's the Breathless by Adam and Eve, the one that's the pink color. And that's been helping healing that specific scar tissue. It doesn't seem like manually with my fingers and like hands massaging is getting rid of or healing that scar tissue, or any other toys are really helping. But this one toy is actually helping whenever I have been using it, especially in the shower, because it's waterproof, combined with the warm water, has helped. And that scar tissue at the vaginal canal that connects to the perineum, that's actually been healing, because I've been doing these two fingers and this finger in the middle, squishing it and pretty much rolling it like this and rolling it this way, like out like this and like this, pretty much. And that's been helping. And that scar tissue is getting better as well. It's taken time, but it's starting to get better. Even the times where I do use a toy down there in that spot, it's helping. So that's getting better. I still have that facial hair through all the chin here and through here. Seems like through the spots on the sides have gone away. I still have a spot here, but the stuff right through here is gone. But through here and here is still there from my last laser appointment over, it's like a couple of months ago. So I'm gonna have to schedule an appointment to talk to them and figure out what we can do to get rid of the hair. And I'm possibly might have to just switch to electrolysis, which the place I've been going for laser doesn't do electrolysis, which sucks. So I'm probably gonna have to talk to them about it, see what the plan can be, because I hate shaving my face. I always have. I've never liked facial hair, ever. Even though it really's never caused dysphoria. I just hate it. Except for like once it's really caused dysphoria, but other than that, right here is gone. Right through here. But through here and here is what needs to be done. So, yeah. And I noticed since my last treatment on my underarms, there's like a few hairs I noticed. where it wasn't even too bad. So yeah, so I might have to check again to see if the hair's still there or not. On my underarms to see if I need a treatment there, one last treatment. So other than that, that's what's going on with that. And there's only one last thing I can mention. I wore leggings for the first time out. It was the costume I wore because I went to here in Utah where we live. It's FanX. It's the comic convention they have here in Utah. And the costume I wore was the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad 2. Specifically the scene where they're on the airplane and the beach, that outfit. So a costume version, it was leggings. So I wore leggings out for the first time, which I felt really comfortable doing so. More than I ever had in my life. And yeah, except those leggings weren't really breathable. So I suggest if you do wear leggings that are more of a cotton material and are breathable, because it was like really sweaty down there. And for the 2 days I did wear the costume, I ended up down there next to like the clitoris urethra area. It started burning and stinging from all that walking and not having more breathable leggings. So yeah, but it wasn't too bad, but it was enough where I felt it. So I was like, ugh, didn't feel good. My body's like, you had surgery to correct everything, and we healed from it, and now you're doing this to me. You need something more breathable. So yeah, this down there was screaming at me for a while, but I'm fine now. So the last 2 days, I had to let my body calm down and do as little walking as possible and whatnot. So that was my experience with leggings the first time. So if I do decide to get leggings for like everyday use, I know to get something really breathable and wear really breathable underwear with it, so I don't get that issue again. So other than that, that's what's happened this last month with everything. So yeah, and my vaginal health is still really good. It's still doing the exact same things with the smell, with the fluids and whatnot, depending on where my hormones are, how much liquids I've drank. It's still doing the same thing. That hasn't changed since it normalized. So yeah, except for wearing leggings that's not breathable was not really a good thing. So I know for the next time, more breathable cotton material. So till my next video, whenever that will be, with this cute face of mine I've noticed staring into the camera, with the cheekies right here filled in more, and just looking myself. Till that next video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And until my next video, shh.